Protection magic isn't about white light and good vibes, it's about boundaries, and boundaries have teeth. This is the work that asks you to sit with something uncomfortable, the acknowledgement that threat exists. That harm is real. That sometimes you need defenses that don't smile back. There's no bypassing that with affirmations or crystals charged under the full moon. Protection magic demands you look directly at what scares you and then build a wall around it. The old practitioners understood this in their bones. Their wards weren't gentle suggestions. They were aggressive, territorial, designed to hurt back. A horseshoe over the door wasn't decoration. It was iron, and iron burns. Salt lines didn't invite conversation. They said, cross this and suffer. These weren't people interested in sending love to their enemies. They were interested in keeping their families alive. And here's where modern practice gets squeamish. We've been taught that boundaries are somehow unkind. That protecting yourself aggressively makes you the problem. So we soften the work, sand down the edges, try to make protection magic feel less or hostile. But those edges, those sharp, uncompromising edges, that's precisely what makes it effective. You're allowed to have defenses that don't apologize. You're allowed to work magic that doesn't care about being polite. Protection isn't about being nice. It's about being safe. And sometimes safety requires you to be willing to push back harder than what's pushing at you. Warding isn't decoration. It's architecture. You're building a perimeter, and the old methods weren't pretty. They were structural. Iron at thresholds wasn't symbolic. It was understood as a physical barrier. Fairies, spirits, malicious intent, they were believed to recoil from iron the way your hand pulls back from flame. That's why horseshoes hang over doors, points up, holding the protective force in place. That's why nails were driven into door frames and window ledges. You weren't hanging art. You were erecting a fence they couldn't cross. Salt lines work the same way, but for different reasons. Salt preserves. It holds form. It doesn't decay, doesn't let things corrupt what's inside. When you lay a line of salt, you're not drawing a suggestion. You're creating a barrier that says nothing crosses here, nothing enters, nothing rots what I'm protecting. It holds. And then there are witch bottles. These weren't talismans you wore. They were traps you buried. At property lines, under hearthstones, near doorways. You'd fill a bottle with your own urine, pins, nails, iron filings, thorns, sometimes hair or nail clippings. The logic was brutal and elegant. If harm comes for you, it'll find this first. It'll get drawn into the bottle, and the sharp objects inside will shred it. A dicker that doesn't just deflect, it destroys. Warding was never gentle. It was deliberate, material, and completely ruthless. Banishing isn't a request. It's expulsion. You're not asking something to leave, you're telling it, and backing that up with force. When you burn mugwort or rosemary and move that smoke through a room, you're not setting a vibe. You're physically pushing. The smoke is your hand shoving stagnant energy toward the door, toward the window, toward whatever exit you've decided it's leaving through. You direct it. You mean it. This is percussive work. Same with sound. Ringing a bell in the corners of a room, clapping your hands sharp and sudden, that's not symbolic. Sound breaks up energetic buildup the way it shatters surface tension on water. You're disrupting something that's settled where it shouldn't be. It's violent in a small, precise way. That's the point. And here's where most people fail. They don't speak. You have to say it out loud. You are not welcome here. Or whatever words come through you in the moment. But you have to voice it, and you have to mean it with your whole chest. Banishing collapses when you're apologetic, when you're uncertain, when you're asking permission to take up space in your own home, your own body, your own life. This isn't about being cruel. It's about being clear. You're drawing a line, and everything on the wrong side of it has to go. That clarity, that edge, is what makes banishing work. Here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. Sometimes the most protective thing you can do is stop someone in their tracks. Binding isn't about harm. It's about limitation. You're not cursing them with suffering. You're tying up their ability to cause damage. There's a difference, and it matters. Freezer spells are exactly what they sound like, and they're devastatingly effective. You write the person's name on a piece of paper. You submerge it in water. You put it in your freezer. And just like that, their influence goes dormant. They can't reach you. Their words lose their heat. It's not violence. It's putting someone on pause when they've proven they can't be trusted with access to your life. If you need something more specific, black thread does the work. Wind it around a taglock, around a poppet, around anything that represents them. But here's where precision matters. While you're winding, you state exactly what you're restricting. Their words, their actions, their ability to show up uninvited. You're not doing general chaos magic here. You're setting clear, controlled boundaries that happen to have teeth. Binding feels heavy because it is. You're making a choice to limit another person's will, even if that will was being weaponized against you. But sometimes restriction is the kindest thing you can do, for yourself, and honestly, for them too. Here's where it gets elegant. A mirror facing outward at your door or window doesn't just deflect, it sends back exactly what was sent to you. No more, no less. You're not cursing them. You're not wishing them harm. You're just refusing delivery and returning it to the original sender. The post office of spiritual warfare, if you will. What's beautiful about return to sender work is that you're not generating new harm. You're not adding anything to the equation. You're completing a circuit. They threw something at you. It's going home. That's it. That's the whole mechanism. The universe keeps its books balanced, and your hands stay clean. Now, if you want to get fancy, there's the reversal candle. Black on the outside, red on the inside. You burn it and watch the black wax melt away first. That's their work coming off you, all that psychic sludge they sent. Then the red core is revealed, burning bright, sending everything back while you stand there untouched. It's theater, honestly. Gorgeous theater. And it works because you're not becoming the aggressor. You're just standing in your power and saying no, not this, not me. The harm turns around and finds its way home. So let's talk about what you actually do with all this. Because knowing the history is one thing, living it is another. Start with your front door. I'm serious. That threshold is the most important piece of real estate in your entire practice. Wash it down with salt water. Hang iron, a horseshoe, a nail, whatever speaks to you. Then stand there and declare it. Out loud. This is a boundary that only welcomes what I allow. Feel how that shifts the air. Next, keep a protection sachet on you. Something small you can slip in a pocket or bag. Rosemary, bay leaf, black salt, a chip of obsidian. Nothing fancy. Refresh it monthly under a dark moon. Let it know it's still working for you. And here's the thing people skip: maintenance. Do a smoke cleanse and mirror check once a season. Not because you're under attack. Not because something's gone wrong. But because staying strong before you need to be is the entire point. Protection isn't about panic. It's about rhythm. It's about showing up for yourself when nothing's happening, so you're already fortified when something does. You standing at your threshold with iron in one hand and salt in the other, finally understanding that safety isn't passive. It's a practice. It's a choice. It's something you build with your own hands in the dark. Follow Blackfire Atelier. I'll see you in the shadows.